Hey, what's up? I got some more lore content for you guys. For those of you who are watching me for the first time, I make Mythbuster videos and stream Legends of Runeterra. I just got Diamond and working on Masters next, so I'm pretty versed in the meta. For the rest of you who watch my videos regularly, welcome back. And now for the patch notes run through. Patch 0.9.0 notes. The first patch of the beta. Firstly, we got a whole 3-page paper to read here. Since this patch includes the first balance updates of the beta and many players' first balance updates since starting, we'd like to briefly recap our goals and how you can expect to see them manifest over the several patches that happen between new card releases. When we look at balance and lore and consider changes, we have some high-level aspirational targets we use to guide our long-term efforts. Every champion should have a deck where they're the best fit and their dream can be realized. This is going to get really hard the more champions that are added, by the way. That's an insane goal, but I respect it. Non-champion cards should have at least one deck where they're a good option. Fair. Regions should have at least one competitively viable deck. Ooh, that's another really hard goal, but I really like it. The meta should support the wildest possible array of competitively viable decks. Yes, please. That sounds good. While buffing cards in pursuit of these targets is the fun part, we will also power down cards where necessary. When we do, we want to avoid over nerfs. Cards and their archetypes or decks should remain playable, as well as minimize collateral damage to cards or decks that aren't the actual target of a given change. We fully plan to monitor changes rather than drop them and forget, and will make further tweaks in future patches as needed. Okay, good, so they will revisit a card that they over nerf. That's really awesome. Additionally, we plan to approach balance with a seasonal mindset, adjusting our methods. Okay, good. UI fixes, awesome. So to the actual cards, firstly we have Lux. Lux is going up 1 attack and 1 HP. Lux's weaker stat line made it a little too difficult to utilize her as a linchpin, build around me card. Buffing her stats will help her ability to both stick around as an engine and act as a meaningful threat on her own. That's pretty interesting. So she's going from a 3-4 to a 4-5 for the same cost. I don't think that's exactly Lux's problem in the meta, just her stats, but we'll see the other nerfs. I've only skimmed through this patch notes, actually. I haven't read through all of them in their entirety. And also, Lux's level up is also going up by 1 to mirror the small Lux. Yasuo. You stun or recall 6 units, now 2, you stun or recall 5, so he has 1 less unit to recall in order for his level up condition to be met. While testing Ionia changes internally, we found that Yasuo was catching collateral damage from changes aimed at elusive and hand buff decks. Inspiring Mentor was one of the best cards to utilize while leveling up Yasuo. Ooh, are they nerfing Inspiring Mentor? That would be great. And together with Deny would provide pivotal protection. Oh, Deny's done. Deny's getting nerfed. Extra important when heavily building around Yasuo. We've also found Yasuo often difficult to level up in expeditions, especially when not paired with Noxus. Oh, so they're also taking expeditions into account for these buffs. Interesting. So that's it for the champions. 2 buffs. I like that. They're not nerfing a champion right away. Straight into buffs. Alright, followers and spells. Back to back. Mana cost from 5 to 6. Thank God. I don't think this is going to be enough. I need to see other elusive hits, but Demacia elusive really came in the past week and started dominating the meta. It's so frustrating to play against. They get 2 elusives on board, back to back, attack, and then rally and attack again. It's so unfair. They were doing upwards of like 22 unblockable damage on turn 5 and 6, so I'm glad to see this hit. One of the things we love about lore is that combat tricks are very playable in our constructed format, which really contributes to compelling interactive gameplay moments. That said, back-to-back can be a huge blowout burst speed. Oh, true. Trick that often leaves opponents without profitable avenues for playing around it. We like this kind of effect, with such a swingy card ultimately warrants a higher cost. Or just take burst off of a lot of things. If you're nerfing Deny, you can take burst off of a lot of spells, I'm just saying. Arena Battlecaster, health from 1 to 2. So this is a buff. He was a 2-mana 2-1, now a 2-mana 2-2. Battlecaster isn't seeing a ton of use, so it's getting a small buff to help it line up better with other 2-drops and make it a more compelling option for Noxus decks. I like that. This is really good in like aggressive Noxus decks, maybe like a full Noxus with allegiances. Sounds good. Another buff for a Noxus card, Crimson Curator, becoming a 3-mana 3/3 from a 3/2. Battlescar's decks have been underperforming, and the Noxus side of the theme has been a bit one-dimensional. Improving Crimson Curator should increase both options and viability for these decks. Yes, this is really, really good in a Vladimir deck, is what they're saying. That's what Battlescars must be. That's awesome. I was thinking about making a Vladimir deck in the future, so I'm glad to see the love come before I actually invest. Oh, there we go! Deny! 3 mana to 4 mana. Stop a fast spell, slow spell, or skill. Okay. Deny is moving from watch list to change list after rigorous internal testing and debate. Rigorous. That means like half the people were fighting for the nerf and the other people are like, nah, keep it. And they like raged at each other. That's amazing. While there are good arguments for Denied to exist at 3, ultimately it's proven too prevalent and disruptive on the metagame, heavily restricting viable card options. When testing this change internally, we found that play patterns involving Deny tended to feel more fair. Holding up Deny now always costs at least 1 mana per turn that you'd otherwise use to develop your board, a cost that makes for more involved decision making than when Deny was fully castable spell. I really like this description. This is exactly what it's going to do. Basically, it's 1 less mana you have to commit to any other play. And also, you can't just deny on your 3 spell mana, right? A lot of people would pass the first couple turns, especially in like Zed elusive with Demacia built in. They'd skip turn 1, skip turn 2, so they have full 3 mana, play Zed on 3, and then be able to deny if you were to Culling Strike or Mystic Shot him, right? So now you can't do that anymore. That's another thing to take into consideration that they left out. It's really interesting. Deny was obviously a problem because Shadow Isles decks, like mono Shadow Isles, ran the entire Shadow Isles package, every single card pretty much, every single good card at least, and then 3 Shadow Assassin and 3 Deny. That's a problem. If other decks that are supposed to be mono or single colored decks are abusing a singular card or 2 cards from another region. Hence, Denies hit. Inspiring Mentor, let's go, let's go. Okay, what happened? He is now a 1 mana 1/2, so a buff on his HP stat. Play, grant an ally in hand 1/1. To plant, grant an ally in hand 1/0. Yes! Okay, he only gives them 1 attack instead of 1 HP as well. That's super good. Inspiring Mentor was providing too much curve efficiency and resilience to Ionia decks, with the stats granted to the buffed unit, often overly protecting them by putting them out of the range of similarly costed removal. Yeah, it was so fun having Inspiring Mentor hit Greenglade Duo, and then she was a 3/2, and I couldn't Val Feast her anymore. That felt so interactive to play. Kappa. Curving Inspiring Mentor into 1 or even 2 4/3 Conspirators was too powerful a play, that too. Him constantly getting bounced by Conspirators was kind of frustrating. With this change, we're ensuring an intended weakness of elusive units. Their low health can be more exploitable. Thank you, Riot. Get this out of here. Jeweled Protector, going from a 5 mana 3/3 to a 5 mana 4/4. Nice. This change is complementary to the one made to Inspiring Mentor, as we don't want to over-nerf the hand buff archetype. Shifting power from Mentor to Protector just makes sense. I like that change. It's good that they do this now instead of wait for the numbers and then look back at it and be like, oh, we over nerfed, now it's time to buff, when no one even wants to play that deck anymore. It's really good to hit all these things on the same patch. I love what they're doing here. Kinku Lifeblade. We previously mentioned that we've been keeping an eye on elusive strategies and working to identify any specific candidates to adjust. So he got cucked. He's now a 4 mana 2/2. This card blows. Now he's Mystic Shotable. Now that's pretty much it actually, that I can think of off the top of my head. Anything else usually just hits for 3. That's awesome! One of the intended weaknesses of elusive deck is that fast decks should be able to effectively race them, since elusive units are, well, I guess spiders can now pull him more easily and kill him with the Precious Pet. He's now in Precious Pet range, Pog. Since elusive units are naturally smaller and less cost efficient, Kinku Lifeblade often closed that door on what should be fundamental weakness of the deck, so we're adjusting its stats. Let's go! Elusives are dead! Elusives are dead! Elusives are dead! At least as we know them. No! Daddy Ladros, why? I play Shadow Isles. 9 mana 9/6 instead of 8 mana 8/6. Cut the enemy nexus health in half, and now it says cut the enemy nexus in half rounded up. Oh, okay. That's good. They gave clarity to what his effect is doing, but they also kept the effect. I thought they were going to nerf it and make it round down. No, he can still kill the opponent at 1 HP. See my Mythbusters video for more information. Commander Ledros is an extremely powerful game-ending bomb that also acts as a recursive threat, true, and is flexible to boot, offering both excellent stabilization in close games and close-out potential for aggro decks that might have otherwise come up short. Overall, Ledros was a bit too good at undoing whatever previously happened in the game. True, as soon as you play Ledros, the game all of a sudden becomes about him and not so much what happened up to that point. So, I can understand where they're coming from. Let's see. A card that does so much and incur a higher opportunity cost. Okay, that's fine. Blade of Ledros now also has the context and the change text. Raza also getting nerfed. Oh man. Raza costs from 7 to 8, and he still does the same thing. They didn't buff his stats to compensate like they did Ledros. They kept him a 7/5. Raza offers consistent blowout potential across many matchups. This is fine. I only run one Raza, and I was thinking about cutting it from my deck, and I kept playing into him on accident in my plat climb, so this is fine. He's an 8 mana blowout now, much like Judgment, so he's on the same mana cost as some other blowout cards. Makes sense to me. Scuttlegeist now has Fearsome. Why? We're removing some raw power from Shadow Isles with our other changes, as it's just doing too many things too well. On the other hand, we want to help players build more synergy-driven Shadow Isles decks, so we're providing small buffs of Scuttlegeist and Tortured Prodigy to make them more compelling options. What's a Tortured Prodigy? Is this a new card? I've never seen this. 5 mana, 4/4 instead of a 3/4. Okay, that's pretty crazy. Wraithcaller no longer has Fearsome, so they took Fearsome off of Wraithcaller and put it on Scuttlegeist. But the Wraiths that she summons are still going to have Fearsome, so that's important to keep in mind. Wraithcaller has been a dominant value card for Fearsome-based decks. The combination of 2 bodies boosting all Mist Wraiths and evasion made this among the most efficient cards in Legends Runeterra. It is. It's the best 4-drop in the game. It still might be, honestly. It's the extra body that's strong, not the fact that it's Fearsome. But now I guess it can die. No. Taking Fearsome off of this doesn't really do much. Okay. Considering the free misread. Oh, it can be chump blocked. I guess that's it. We're cutting the. Yep. The watch list. Oh, what is this? Monka S. We got like T1's int list, but for for Legends or Runeterra cards. Fearsome. Lore is built around a central pattern of interactive, interesting combats. One of the reasons we're keeping an eye on elusive decks and ultimately made some changes is that when firing on all cylinders, they removed much of that interactivity. Not really. You know, just 22 unblockable damage on turn 5 between, 2 attacks because of a rally. That seemed interactive to me. I don't know about you. In large concentrations, Fearsome can have a similar impact. Yeah, but they can be blocked by big minions, so not really. Once it becomes very difficult to block, the points of interaction shrink, and a lot of the interesting back and forth in the game disappears. For now, we think the changes in this patch, plus some existing tools, provide enough countermeasure on Fearsome. I agree. I don't think Fearsome's that broken right now. Like, the only thing that can't block Fearsome are 2-attack creatures and lower, so aggro decks, right? But if you're playing anything that's like a 4-cost or higher, it will probably have 3 attack, so it can trade into Fearsome units. At least you have the option to. Elusives, you did not have that option, but we'll be keeping an eye. Sure. Control. Collectively, the card updates in this patch represent a general reduction of the power of tools that aggressive and mid-range decks have to combat control. True. While control decks haven't been problematic so far, we've be keeping an eye to see if they've been overly powered. Okay. Clarity. Yes, yes. Expeditions. I don't play too much Expeditions. I only play when they give me the free token in the chest, so not going to go over these in too much detail. End of trial XP reduced. Oh, you get less XP for expeditions. That sucks. To complement or tweaking daily adjustments PvP to get more, probably, right? Yes, nice. Bro, I played for 15 hours straight yesterday as of recording this video. And I played probably 100 or so games to climb from plat to diamond. And it got to the point about halfway through that whenever I won the game, I no longer got XP. I played so much that the game stopped giving me XP. I was not gaining anything for playing except for LP. I think that's kind of interesting. Friend challenges, losses, and ties now grant 0. That kind of sucks. Friend wins, give 100 XP for the first 5 and 0 XP for 6 more. Okay, so you can't abuse friend challenges. Not that I was doing that or anything, but... FPS options, miscellaneous, deck builder improvements, yay! Mana curve now indicates the number of cards at each cost, yay! Clarity, bug fixes, my favorite. Alright, so that is going to wrap up the patch run through. I really appreciate what they're doing here. These are overall way more nerfs than buffs. The buffs seem to be concentrated and in compensation to the nerfs. So that's a really interesting take on card game balance that I've never seen before. Keep it up though, because I really like that. Wow, this guy did the patch in 60 seconds. I definitely did not do that. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please, I'm begging you, help out your local small creators. Thank you again so much and have a good one. Laters.